Okay.
All right, let's just look at some. We've got lots of people already signed up. That's great. And we've got a lot of people on board. That's great. We've only got a few of you who've given us a thumbs up. I've got a lot of you to acknowledge, and I'm probably not going to get to all of you. So let's just start looking at questions. I was going to talk about contracts, but I think I'm going to start worrying about what people have been asking first.
Yeah. On that Husky Koi question.
Yes, go ahead, Jocelyn.
On that video, Cody Wayne is explaining the Husky Koi on that video that you did, that you put up of the new babies.
So we put a video up 2 days ago that is is Cody, our son's litter of Husky Kois and Pinks.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I have a conversation with him about what Husky Kois Pinks are. So I think that's probably a great place to start. I'm not by far from an expert on it, so I can tell you what I do know a little bit about this. You have
a Merle.
You have to start with a Husky.
A Husky
and then
a Merle.
Yes.
I was getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, a Husky and a Merle together.
Yes.
And so, and he carried Pink. So he was a Husky Koi that carried Pink. And so she was a Merle. So it created the Kois.
And it has to be maskless?
No.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
Oh, well, I don't think so.
I think it does.
That's why you need to go to that video.
I think it has to be maskless too. So you either got to be big E, little e, or little m, little m, or little em, little e. You can't have two copies of cream because it covers everything up.
And we may have somebody that's watching us can tell us.
Yes, if somebody's got some answers on this that's better than that, go ahead and tell us.
But Cody knows it. That's our son.
Husky is a visual look. You don't test for Husky. Koi, you have to have the Merle, which of course you can test for, maskless with the Husky.
Because the Koi is a Merle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a variation of a Merle. And then to get the Pink, you can test for the albinism gene for that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, right. Okay. So that was that question. Let's just start going through questions. We'll worry the contracts at the end of this. So I've got lots to go through here. Ooh, let's have a look here, Tammy.
This is why I like to have my own phone.
Well, I understand. So First Class Bullets has a huge question about your female. Go ahead and ask it. Let's keep rolling me back to the beginning.
Where's the pink tablet?
My female is Debbie O says my female on day 5 in heat. My male is 11 months. Is he good stud? What day should I start breeding? Well, so is your stud any good? I don't know. Have you been pulling from him? If you haven't, you need to be. You need to be practicing. All studs need to be pulled from at least once a month, if not every week or
look
2.
Look at it under the microscope to see how good his little sperm
If you've got an 11-month that's never been pulled from, and then you want him to all of a sudden perform for you, he may not do anything. So there's a couple of things here. Practice with him. Check it like Tammy's saying under a microscope. And separate him from any females at least 48 hours before you want to pull. Otherwise, you probably won't get a very good collection.
Well, the first is real liquidy, isn't it? On the semen pull.
What?
You want to catch the midstream of the pull.
Okay, so that's another thing. Is if you're going to ship this, you don't ship the. If you collect from a dog, you'll get some kind of pre-clear stuff. Don't worry about that. Collect it because it's hard to judge when to stop on that. Just collect from him, and then it'll go milky. Keep collecting that, and then when it goes clear, give him another 3 or 4 seconds. Then don't collect any more of that. Just let him just kind of leave that on the ground. You want what's the creamy stuff is what you want.
Yeah, that's the key word is the milky.
Yes.
Where it looks creamy,
sperm
milky
rich
color. Yeah.
Sperm rich.
That's and so.
If you do a side-by-side AI, collecting the, can't think of the right word for it. What's the fluid called? Prostate fluid is fine. If you're going to ship it, you don't want to collect that. You want to replace that basically with extender because it travels better.
Well, how do you not collect it?
You look at the cup as you're collecting and you see it dribbling down the side of the cup, a clear cup. And the moment it starts to go clear is the moment you've got to be prepared to just take the cup away and let him finish splashing what's left on the ground, which could be quite a bit. You don't want to collect, it depends on the kind of dog and how big his testes are and how much you're going to collect. On a French Bulldog, 2, 3, 4 cc's what you're going to collect is sperm rich. You might collect 15 cc's, but that extra 10 cc's, you don't want to, it's not beneficial and it's certainly no good for shipping. That's my point. When should you start breeding?
You have a video on that too.
I do lots of videos. Typically, when do you want to start breeding? A day 11 through 13 on most dogs, but a progesterone test is the most beneficial way of timing this. And blood color should be going almost completely clear. Behavior towards other dogs, standing heat, sniffing on other dogs, letting them get up on their back. Those are all good signs you're in the right place. All right. So we've got lots of new people. Mark Burkhart's with us. Tuscan House of Frenchies, we've seen you quite a bit. George Rodriguez, Nacho Line, Elliot Spinian, Vanoso XOXO, Gabel Frenchies, Nacho Line, Pecan Creeko. Pecan Creek Bordeaux. Good to have you here.
Let's do the thumbs up.
Yes, give us a thumbs up. Yes.
You want me to get the pink iPad?
No, you can't get it set up. Okay, Coos Exotic Kennel says, my French Bulldog and my vet did the C-section on my last time. Told me last person did the C-section, my girl messed up. Do you have any, do not have any more puppies with this dog? Well, I think that you need to ask, how was it messed up? I mean, look, how could you mess this up? Don't know. Certainly, normally what you do is you've got these two horns that come together at a single point that's at the beginning of the cervix. And what you normally do is you put an incision to open everything up right there, as opposed to having put incisions on both sides. That limits the scarring that you get. But sometimes, because the puppies are so big, you can't get all the horns out, and you make a cut on one side, get all the puppies out of that. At that point, you can get the other horn out and make a cut on the other side. I mean, you have to ask the question, explain to me why you said that. You said that the other people messed it up. Fine. How do they mess it up? What do they do? Give me some explanation. Remember,
ask your vet. Yeah.
A lot of these vets don't want you breeding.
What that answer is.
And they can give you that answer just because they don't want you breeding. I'm not saying that's correct, that's what your vet said. But
I've never heard of that before.
Well, I haven't either. And furthermore, it's like, a doctor coming in and say, well, we had to remove your liver because the last doctor messed it up with your appendix. Like, let's have some kind of explanation on this. Don't just give me that. Give me what went wrong. Maybe you have more information you can tell us here. But certainly, you've got to ask the question. Explain to me what that means. Because I've never heard that. And I've been involved in a lot of C-sections. And the way that typically C-sections get messed up is they don't take all the puppies out. Crazy as that sounds, it does happen occasionally. They don't take all the puppies out. The next one is that stitches open up. And if the inside stitches open up, it's a bad day. They get an infection. Those are the three things that I have seen in French Bulldog, in Frenchies on C-sections, and that is it. So infection, open stitches, and then not taking all the puppies out. That one's never happened to me, but it's happened to other people that I've talked to about this. Okay, next question.
Female got an SI on December 19th. Definitely get.
Sure, point to it.
Right here.
Sonny Jones. Sonny Jones says, good evening from Dallas, Fort Worth. Our female got a surgical insemination on December the 19th. Definitely getting bigger. Well, good. Right. So what would you expect to see in signs, Tammy, if you had a surgical insemination on the 19th of December? When would it be likely that you could start to see things happening?
At least in a couple of weeks. If it's a first-time female,
yep.
The nipple change is the first sign that you'll see, or morning sickness.
So that would be the beginning of January. Morning sickness, and then if you're seeing a swollen belly now, on the 19th, when you're a month into this, you're having a big litter. That'll be a big litter because normally you don't see much going on until you're 3 weeks away or less from C-section date. So if you're seeing that already now, I'm going to predict that you're going to have a really nice litter out of this. All right, where are we now?
Right here.
Rachel?
Okay, Rachel says, hi, Tammy and James.
Rachel, who got the nice litter from Brandon.
101 Frenchies of Texas.
Yes, we're going to see her at the show. We're going to show this Saturday in Dallas. Is it called Off the Leash?
Uh-huh.
Off the Leash. And
the first time we've ever gone.
To one of those shows. Yeah. So we're going to be there with Brandon. He's got a VIP booth, and we're going to sit in the VIP booth. So if any of you are in that area, come to the show. Say hi to us. Or not. I mean, it's fine. Okay, what's... Oh, here we go.
Not your line.
Husky Coys is like a pied merle enhanced. Okay, they really do stand out. Yes, right. Okay, good deal. Right.
They remind me, the little Coys remind me of little Appaloosas because usually the main spots are down back behind. Cody's little litter is mainly white on top, and then the spots are more or less on the back areas. But that, like one of the females has a spot on her ears and maybe a spot at the middle of the head, and they're just really pretty puppies.
Zion Williams says, just want to let you know that we've learned a lot from you all, and from Arkansas, and we appreciate you. Well, good. I'm glad you're here with us. Extraordinary Beautiful Journey says, Tammy, how do you deal with show breeders who try to tarnish you when you post your puppies? You haven't had a lot of it, actually, have you?
No, I haven't. They're different people. They do know what they're talking about, just like what we know some of what we're talking about. But how do you keep them from tarnishing? I just let them talk. Who cares? Sticks and stones. That old saying, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Just let them say what they want.
Pretend like you got Tourette's syndrome. Having a tick and say, you stupid bastard.
James.
Okay, I got Tourette's.
Awful. That's awful.
So I'll tell you how I handle this on my YouTube channel, because I do occasionally get some people who are just kind of fairly obnoxious. First off, I don't get into a fight. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
If they're bull baiting you, don't get baited. So people can say some very unkind, and because they haven't looked at the whole thing, or because they haven't looked at the video,
because they don't understand.
They haven't understand it. Maybe they've got an axe to grind, but it's not. All I do is this: if it's really offensive, I delete it. If the people come back and continue to do that, I block them. If they say something that
if they get a reaction out of you, that's what they wanted.
If it's a constructive criticism, I approach it 100% and say, hey, this is the reason why I said this, and this is probably why you're saying that, and maybe and then maybe they're right. Maybe that I've said something that's inappropriate or incorrect, and I'll face up to that. But I don't get into a fight. I do typically leave those negative comments on YouTube unless they are just absolutely offensive and just really stupid. And I see very few of them. I mean, maybe one in a couple in 100, 2% or something. So, but again, and I can tell you this about showroom people: they have a completely different mindset than we do, and they're after a different thing on their dogs. And a lot of them think that what we're doing is absolute rubbish. Hey, that's their opinion, but hey, there's no point. It's like trying to persuade a Republican to become a Democrat or vice versa. Good luck. You're just not going to get anywhere with this. And in the most case, you can't even have a civil conversation. You can get into the weeds really quickly. So my advice would be polite, but if they're just really offensive, block them, get them out of them.
You were saying that one of your Husky girls isn't maskless. Cody Wayne got maskless in his litter group, and it's like a bingo. When you get maskless, that's nice. And so anywho, somebody said that they hope Cody is keeping one of the studs. HG Frenchie's Indy is saying that.
He's thinking about it, isn't he?
He's thinking about keeping that little boy because he is just phenomenal. Just big, wide muzzle, nice big head, just a stocky little boy. So he's definitely going to keep that. And she says she's very happy with that Rohan litter that she got.
Good.
Rohan is one of our studs that she used. So happy. They're perfect, and they're 7 weeks old now.
That's wonderful. We'd like to hear that.
That's great.
Yes, we'd like to hear that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
And so here is sorry.
Give us
something
thumbs
about
up, folks. While I'm looking at this, we want more of you.
5.0.
Okay, hello, sir. Not sure if you answered my question or not because it was muted, but have you had false readings with your Wanfo machine? I've had others I know that have had false readings. So the answer to this one is that almost always when you are having what you think are false readings, it's real, it's genuine. So what you see is this, and I see this a lot. So, if you look at the textbook says progesterone level when it gets to 5 on an IDEX, which might be like a 7 or 8 on a Wanfo, all the numbers are going up. That's all they do is go up. Baloney, bullshit, not true. I promise you. Just a marker. So you will see a lot where dogs are going up, then they fall backwards. And so you think you've got false readings. This is what I would consider a false reading. If you had on a machine that read like 25, and the next day it read a 3, now that's a false reading. There's something wrong with a reading like that. If you had a 7 yesterday and now you had a 3 today, that's probably a genuine reading. I'd pay attention to it. It's probably genuine, and it's nothing more than either split or delayed heat cycle, quite normal. And then, because there's some other things, obviously one can make mistakes. I mean, you can have, you cannot do the test properly. You can choose whole blood when you should have been choosing plasma or vice versa. You could not have waited the 15 minutes. You could. I have never seen. I've never done a test that I thought was. I have done tests where I've gone back and retested again because I didn't believe it, and they came back almost the same number. So the answer is no. But obviously, anything can go wrong, and human error is one of the things that can happen. But if you're in doubt on this, do another test and compare them. And then if you don't like that, if you've got somebody else who's got a fine care machine, you can run a test, put it in their machine, take it, get the results, and immediately put it in their machine and just do it as a quick test. You have to wait 15 minutes and see if the numbers are close. And they're not going to be absolutely on the number. Remember, 5.7 is no different than a 6.1, right? Don't get worried about the point stuff. Now, if you've got a dog that and this is another thing, different kinds of machines do differently. IDEX machines, fine care machines, can't think of the name of the silly things now. Doesn't matter. Anyway, they all say they read in nanograms per milliliter, but they don't. And the important thing is that you see this this point right here, this sudden rapid increase in progesterone numbers signifies ovulation. That's the important thing. So the numbers might be different on different dogs and different machines. But again, what I'm saying here is no, I've been really happy with the fine care machine, but you've got to know how to interpret it.
Shelley Rockers wanted to know when Chanel said Ewok, she meant that it's not a name of a Frenchie, Ewok Frenchies. It is the way that little puppy looks. She says he looks like, reminds her of an Ewok. The look.
I'm glad you found that one because I saw a comment on the YouTube that asked, how do you make an Ewok? And I was like, I didn't answer it because I didn't know. I was like, I'd have to go do some research on what the hell an Ewok is. The answer is that was Chanel's name for what a dog looked like.
Yeah. She was just saying that's what he looked like a little Ewok.
Which dog was that?
I guess we could start up a new breed.
There you go. Yes.
Make lots of money off of that
love
one.
My Ewoks.
So anyway, that's funny, but no, that's just what she said he looked like. Just had my first litter. Puppy noses seem to be a little on the wet side, worried about aspirating pneumonia. How old are these puppies? And sometimes they've just got wet noses because they're full of energy, running around, get a little runny nose. But if it's a continuation of being wet noses, then
so what you've got to worry about here is pneumonia. And pneumonia, typically you'll get it because they've aspirated milk. So one of the first things to do,
she's wanting to know.
Take a stethoscope, listen to the lungs on that puppy, compare it with the lungs on the other puppy. If it's crackly, it's definitely time to get some antibiotics on board ASAP because that is the beginning signs of pneumonia. So typically you'll see a dog that has either a mucousy or a clear discharge. Puppies that are something between 3 and 10 days old is where it typically starts to affect puppies. Puppies that are older, typically they don't have problems with it. But this first week, pretty dangerous area right here. Most scariest part of raising Frenchies in particular is that first week where you can have puppies have problems.
Make sure you have the area that they're sleeping in nice and covered. If you're not using our heated whelping system, I even cover my heated whelping system as well.
At nighttime.
Just during the day, I don't want any kind of.
Right.
I might leave the front open a little bit until they're like 2 weeks old. I start opening that front a little bit more each time because I'm just scared of it. Because any kind of draft.
Right.
Air coming in, cooler air, especially if they're down on the floor. That's where our lift comes in real handy because you can lift it up and it's not catching all that cool air down around on the floor coming in at them. But I always keep a blanket around my babies in that crate as well. So that helps cut out from getting
So Billy,
pneumonia,
who's a singleton, is not with mum in the daytime, but goes with mum at nighttime. And we cover the whole thing up.
I'm fixing to end that.
Oh, is that right?
He's very demanding about wanting her to be still so he can still nurse.
Oh, he goes in a taxi, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I get worried about somebody getting stepped on.
No, not that. She's real good about not stepping on him.
I know, but I still...
Anywho, so she plays with him and tries to tell him to play with her, but he gets insistive on Be still, I want a nurse.
And he's got teeth too, so he's kind of a bit nice. So Ariel's listening to this and getting really worried. We're watching it. We're being good parents.
Oh, we wouldn't let anything happen.
Right. Okay.
This one, I have a stud with a large Pecan Creek company.
I have a stud with a large percentage of proximal droplets via sperm, starting him on lots of supplements. Any other suggestions? I have no idea what proximal droplets are. That's a new one on me. You have to tell us what proximal droplets are, and maybe it's something that I know about called something different, but I have no idea what proximal droplets are.
Okay. Vena XOXO.
Vena XOXO. Have you ever used enhancer when doing an AI with a fresh collection to help the female get pregnant? So if you're doing a side-by-side AI and you've got low volume sperm to work with, I absolutely use an extender in that situation to give me more fluid, because you don't want to lose. Let's say you've only got 1 cc. The AI rod itself holds about half a cc. And I want to make sure I've got that flushed out properly. So I want to have at least 3 cc's to work with, and I'll make sure that I've got that by adding warmed up extender to get to that point. That is it. Now, there are other products out there that you can use to wake sperm up. Never used them. Don't feel like I need to. I feel like our Shipmate product works so well, because I'll give you an example of this. I talked to, can't think of her name now, Kelly, I believe. She got a shipment in, and not one of mine. And she called me up and said, it's only at 50 degrees. So she got an infrared gun. It was at 47 degrees, and she was concerned about that. I'll tell you this, that is not uncommon for these Canine Express boxes that are just passive boxes. We get it down to 5 degrees. We hold it exactly 5 degrees, which is 40 degrees Fahrenheit. These other boxes don't get it down much below 50. And so the sperm does kind of run out of steam. And, there are products out there that you can buy that are basically caffeine based that can give sperm a kick. Never use them, but they are out there.
So how do you get yours at 5?
Oh, computer controlled shipping box. So,
okay.
Well,
It's
so
your Shipmate.
Well, so the way the Shipmate works is it's constantly monitoring the temperature. We put it into an environment that's too cold for the semen. It's surrounded by ice that would normally freeze it, and the Shipmate box measures the temperature inside where the semen is and adds just the amount of right of heat to slowly drop the temperature from room temperature down to 5 degrees, and then it holds it at 5 degrees for days, literally days. So that's the only one that does it.
Yeah, James invented that one.
Yeah, this is my product. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's on My Breeder Supply if you want to look.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm actually developing a new version of it that's just a little plastic cube that you can put into any vacuum flask to make that vacuum flask internal temperature cool down slowly and then stay at 5 degrees. So that's actually about to be released here in the next week or so.
So keeping a stud near females reduces the pull.
Yes, you bet it does.
Yeah.
Actually, if you've got a stud that's running with females all the time, he may not produce anything. I mean, I think it's kind of like, brothers and sisters hanging out and they're just, not sexually attractive. I mean, that's all I can think of. But I can tell you it makes a huge difference. Don't have your females, especially ones they're familiar with, running with your dog before you want to collect. The best thing you can possibly do is to keep that dog away from all females for at least 48 hours. And the moment you bring a female in, even if it's not in heat, is a time to collect right there and then. The first sniff is going to be the most exciting for him.
Camry Durant is from Colorado. Hey,
Camry,
give us a thumbs up.
We know Camry. She's got quite a bit of stuff from us. Plus, she's got she had a few litters from Mando and other dogs, and Gobstopper and other ones, successful ones too.
Blue Cataras.
Blue Catarats. I can't pronounce it.
Long time, James and Tammy. Give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
Glad you're back.
Yes. Yes. Peep and
Creep has
thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Pecan.
I need to use one of your guys' stuff. This is from Barrett Webb. Look, call me. 580-799-2873. Call me this evening after this. Call me in the morning, whatever. We can help you with this. Yep. If you want to get a stud out, it's much better to talk to me days before you need it so we can get all this planned properly. And to make sure that you're in the queue and we don't have a situation where more than one person wants to.
I don't know if they're asking a stud or one of you guys' stuff.
Okay, well, that's fine. Either way.
That's on our website for the stuff. website for products.
Or a phone call.
Yeah, phone call or products
yes.
is www.mybreedersupply.com. That's where the products are, if you're saying stuff. Or do you mean one of our studs, Semen?
Right. So Creations Mo912 says, new to just trying to absorb info, new to toy beetle breeder to be a breeder by late 2026. So you've got lots of time then, a couple of years. We have got tons, I mean, over 1,000 videos on YouTube that are about specific things, not just about French Bulldogs, but breeding in general. So I think you'll find that's a great resource for you.
And that shipmate would come in handy with you as well. If you're shipping semen from one of your stud poodles, you could use that shipmate to send that off. And
so the problem with YouTube is it's hard to know what you're looking for. If you're looking for a particular thing, it's hard to find it on YouTube or even on our channel. However, we do have paid courses. It's at breeder101.com. You pay for a whole package of lectures that's specific about a particular topic, like maybe marketing dogs or timing matings, or there's a whole bunch of them. There's 6 of them, I think. Each one of them, it's not the YouTube videos. They're packaged specifically for that course. They typically run anywhere from 10 to 20 hours in lectures, and maybe as short as 8 minutes and as long as 25 minutes.
And that was...
You own it forever. If you don't like it, you get your money back. You don't have to download anything. It's all streaming, and it's good stuff. So I would say go to breeder101.com. For those of you, I mean, how expensive is this? As cheap as $49 for a course. Some of the courses are over $100, but most of them are under $100. And you own them forever, and it's packed, chocked full of good stuff. And you get me as a mentor. If you need help with that stuff, then I know that you're a member of that. You get preferential treatment. So you might look at that.
So Creations by Mo912 is who that is that was asking that question.
All right.
Down below here.
All right. So Natural Line says only 27 thumbs up. Yes, we've got 31 now. Only half of you have given us a thumbs up. We'd like to see more
thumbs up,
more
please,
thumbs up, please.
Please.
Thanks, Natural Line.
Barrett Webb, my text was bad, needing to use one of your
guys' studs. Yeah, right.
Studs.
Yeah,
oh,
call
okay.
us. Just call us. Call me.
We had to throw a sales pitch in there, one way or the other.
Yeah, call me. Okay, we're here. We're exotic coos, exotic kennels. They said the incision didn't heal back up correct, and doing the last one of the puppies didn't make it because it was stuck in the canal. Okay, so we're talking about the person who said that the vet said that their previous C-section was botched. And so what they said, what the vet said was that the first one, if the last one of the puppies was in the canal, that is not the previous vet's fault. That is because you're a bit late on having a C-section typically. If you've got a puppy in the canal, she's already gone into labor, she's having contractions, she's pushed a puppy, it's partway in the canal, those puppies can get stuck and water can break, don't get delivered, those puppies can die. That's not the previous vet's fault. Now the other one was the incision didn't heal back up correct. Again,
the incision isn't part of the
I mean,
operations for.
So look, when you stitch a dog up, right? There's one of 3 possibilities that I can think of. One is that they didn't stitch it up properly and it opens up. That's a disaster, right? That's a disaster. Might be the vet's fault, might not be, but that's a disaster. Second one is it doesn't heal up very well. I mean, I don't know who you can blame that one for. I mean, it's like some of us heal up well after having cuts and some of us don't. So I think that your vet, I
would go shop somewhere else for another vet.
Well, I mean,
I would.
I think the big question here is: do you have another? Do you have another litter from this puppy, from this dog? That's probably what's going through your mind here, right? Because if the damage has been done, is the damage done in such a way that your dog can't? You had a litter successfully, the second one, so my guess is you're fine, but I might be wrong. And remember, Tammy, are you a vet?
No.
Am I a vet?
No.
And that's right. So remember, anything you hear from us, just like everything, needs to be taken with a grain of salt.
Said stuck in the canal.
Yes, right. So stuck in the canal is not the previous.
Yeah.
Is not a cause of the previous. I wouldn't blame anybody for that. I mean, if I was going to blame anybody, I'd blame you and the vet for deciding to do a C-section late, right? If it's stuck in the canal, it's only stuck in the canal because the dog is already having contractions, and so that dog had contractions. You should have, in a perfect world, you'd have a C-section before contractions start. Don't get me wrong here. We've been in the same boat. It's hard timing this, where you don't take puppies early and end up with premature puppies, or you end up taking them too late and have stuck puppies in the canal. So yeah.
Yeah. And Nacho Lion says, if you think you got puppies left in mama dog, you can always get an ultrasound to be safe.
So what happens, and I've seen this happen just a few times, what happens is they have a C-section done, everything's fine, and they don't know there's anything wrong until all of a sudden one of two things happens. A puppy's born later on, 5, 6, 8 hours later, maybe dead, maybe alive, right? Seen that happen. Number two is that the puppy goes bad inside the mama, and they then have a septic situation, and the dog gets really sick very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
In both of those cases, how the hell do you leave a puppy in the mum? I mean, if any of you are vets who can support,
because you pull all those horns out.
I just can't
don't know
see.
how.
I mean, this sounds like gross negligence to me, but I mean, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't understand it. But anytime that I've been to the vet, we've always been there for the C-section, and we always see both horns opened up. And sometimes they'll say, we take one horn out and there's 1 or 2 puppies in there, and then they say there's nothing on the other side. And it's like, now I want to see what's going on. They've got their hands in there and they're checking everything out, and they're right. Okay.
Yeah. So Holly
McQuaig, yes.
Says,
we know Holly. Holly's got Armani.
Oh, okay.
I got a picture of him.
So give us a thumbs up.
Armani is a beautiful dog. Absolutely. He's a kit baby. Really beautiful dog.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on doing a Frenchie raffle? Oh, I don't want to do that.
I think about doing one for fun and
affordable for the people who can't afford them.
Well,
everyone deserves a Frenchie.
Yeah,
you can just go ahead and lower a price on one. Yeah,
you do it.
You do it. Let us know how it goes.
You do it. And let us know so we can have a ticket for it too. I mean, hey.
What do you mean a ticket for it too?
Well, if it's a raffle, you got to buy a ticket.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's ways that people market things this way. So we're not going to do it. No. So, but I wouldn't be against having a raffle maybe on this channel, maybe to do some things like give something away to people, some of the products that we make. I wouldn't be against doing that. I have to think about how to do it.
Okay, Sonny Jones says second litter. I don't know what he means second litter. I don't think I got the first.
Okay, we'll just keep on going because you've got lots to catch up on.
Hey, y'all. Important supplies for the whelping box.
Okay, so Ado M says, what are some important supplies for the whelping box? Let's talk about, and actually I'm going to do a video on this, about all the things, the whelping supplies that we, not just the stuff that we sell, but everything that you should have for whelping and why you should have it.
And they want to know for the whelping box.
Well, let's just talk about generally whelping very quickly here, about things that everybody should have when they're going to whelp puppies.
The heated whelping system?
So if you buy a heated whelping system, it goes on the bottom of a crate that you already buy. You buy a crate, it needs to be of a suitable size, so you can order the right size heat tape and thermostat from us. We think that that is a very important thing to have. We think it makes your life easier, but it's not critical. You can whelp without our system. Obviously, most people do. The reason that our system is so good is it makes life much easier for you, much easier for mum. Don't have to separate puppies. You don't have to ruin your life for the next 2 weeks separating puppies, and puppies are less likely to aspirate milk. That's why it's so good. Right.
Puppies keep warm.
But you need to have a source of heat for your puppies. You either got to have a heat lamp, which we don't like, or a heating pad that we like better than the heat lamp, but we still don't like it.
But you still have cords where the mama can.
And mum's getting hot, doesn't like it. Right.
Not want it in there.
Got to have a pig rail. If you buy our system, you can buy some corner adapters. I think they're $17 for a set of 4. You cut up some PVC pipe, and within minutes, you've got a pig rail. You've got to have a pig rail. We recommend that your crate is designed so the dog cannot get out of the crate. You do not want to go away off to Walmart, come back a few hours later, and the puppies are not in there anymore because you decided to take them and put them in various places in the house. You need to have your dog locked up. And they don't mind it, I promise you. In our system, they absolutely are not freaked out at all, but are they? Not ever. Never have we had a problem with this. You need to have your dogs firmly secured in a place where they can't get out with some heat source.
Well, they feel very secure and protected in there. They're not worried about if there's a cat in the house or another dog in the house or kids in the house,
Right.
they feel protected because they're in their cage with their babies with that blanket around it.
Yes.
So they feel very secure and safe.
If you let dogs go do their own thing, typically what they'll do is they'll go underneath a bed or in a closet. And they want to go into a dark area that's secure, that doesn't have a lot of entrances to it. That's what they'll do. So that's why the crate with the blanket over it and the heat thing. So that's the first thing. Then there's some other supplies that you must have. You need to have a thermometer because you need to be able to predict when whelp's going to happen. You better have a bottle with a 0 to 3 month old human silicone nipple on it and some goat's milk. You better have a feeding tube. You better have some scales. Those things are so inexpensive. It makes no sense at all not to have them. And you absolutely, if you don't, then you'll.
And everything we're talking about, we sell that on
Puppy cake.
mybreedersupply.com.
Right.
Just take a look in there at all the supplies that we have for your dogs there.
I would say,
because on those pig rails, those corners that James is talking about, comes with those little, is it little nails or not nails, but a little
stove bolts that are already
that make it stand up to show you how high that the pig rail needs to be. Okay, you could talk forever on that one. So here.
Ariel Gemini, Victoria Beautiful says, I have met the majority, even purchased a few makes from, and when they saw my litter, they trashed my puppy's structure and color. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we're talking about this. Trashing, so we already discussed that.
Yeah, just ignore it. You know.
Rachel's going to see us at the show. We look forward to seeing you too, Rachel. How often can you breed a female and still be safe for her? I've asked this a number of times. Going to do it really quickly. Look at the previous litter. If she had a C-section, ask and look at her uterus. Is it in good shape? Are there lots of adhesion and scarring and thinning? You may want to wait
the vet
or stop.
this. Yeah.
How was she with her babies? If she was a shit to her babies, you probably don't want to breed her again. If you didn't have a good time with it, you didn't like the process, you were left with dogs at the end of it, you may think about what you're doing breeding dogs, period, right? And then, you know, obviously age is a limit here. If they start to have small litters, at some point, that's enough. For instance, Kit, who is now 5 years old.
And the vet said she was thinning this last litter that she had. So we decided, well, we'll get her fixed.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah. So,
but she was letting us know because she skipped a whole year after she had been so regular about with her heat cycle.
But then she came back into heat,
and then when
6
she
months
did,
after a previous litter, we didn't breed them.
Yeah.
But again, I think you have to weigh this up. You know, it varies. Some dogs, older, bigger dogs, bigger breeds might have puppies all the way up till they're 9, 10 years old. Frenchies, I think you're pushing it probably at 5 years old, and it might be sooner than that. And I don't think there's a set number of breedings that you can expect to get. I think that it's all about that dog, and you know, did you have natural? Did you have C-sections? Is there scarring? There's a lot of factors that affect at what point should you stop. We have never been in a situation where we've ever had anything blow up on us because we went too far. And I've never had that happen to a customer with breeding to our studs. And I've done thousands of these. So I think it's a pretty rare event that things go wrong because you've pushed it too far. I think probably what happens for the most part is the dog just starts to have small litters and you're done.
Okay, Coos Exotic Kennel said, just because we said that we were going to the show, that leash, what is it?
Off the leash?
Off the leash, that they were going to go to.
Well, good. Great. Well, we'll see. Apparently, we're in the VIP booth. I think that's the one when you first go in. So we'll be there with our smiling faces, hopefully, with Brandon Brioche. He's the one who's actually paying for the booth. So,
Poodle Tails McGinnis.
That's cool.
Took my dog out to relieve himself first. Second days to collect semen in the cup. Each time it turned out kind of yellowish. Is that something I should worry about before placing in the female?
So as far as
took him to go to the bathroom, she said, and he's still showing yellowish color.
Okay, so there's reasons why semen can look off color that probably are not the end of the world. One is there's some urine in it. If you're shipping it, you don't want the urine in there. You can very slowly centrifuge it, get rid of the fluid, including the urine, and then resuspend it with some extender and fix that problem. The second one can be blood. Just a little bit of blood in there can make it look really pinkish and kind of alarm you. And that's probably not going to affect things at all. You could have pus. That would be a lot more of a concern. I think that what you need to do, if you're going to do much of this, you have to go get yourself a microscope so you can look at the semen and learn to evaluate it. And then if you're not sure, it's time to go to the vet and have a vet evaluate it, because you don't want to put something that's got, you know, a non-sterile fluid into a dog, because you can absolutely get pyometria. So if that was pus, that would really concern me. So the answer to this is, I think you've got to learn how to do this, and if not, you've got to go get a vet to help you do it.
Anola, is that right?
Anola, the Frenchie.
She said she's going to go too.
Oh, good. Well, good. Right, good deal. I don't know how much it costs to go to the show. Probably not very much, I would think.
No, I don't know. She says we're the best. It's you, me.
We just answered that one.
Okay, you just answered this one.
How many times can you breed your male Frenchie bulldog? Oh, a month. Oh no, we haven't answered that one. So the question here is how frequently. So the question is, how many times can you use a French bulldog in a month? The issue here is how frequently can you pull from a dog for his semen count gets to be crap. And I think, you know, if you look at the textbooks, they say that you can pull from a dog every other day. I think that it depends on the size of the testes of the dog. Bigger dogs, bigger testicles, you could pull more frequently. Small dogs like Chihuahuas, or dogs that have small testicles, or smallly built dogs like a really small French bulldog, that's probably pushing it. So you can certainly pull from a dog back to back one day and the next day, but if you continue to do that, you're going to run out of steam on that dog, and the semen count won't be very good. What was used today in a sample takes 7 days to replenish. So how many times can you use in a month? I think probably the answer is probably 10 or 12 times. That's a lot. Most dogs aren't going to be that busy. The problem gets to be is this back-to-back breedings. A customer comes to you and wants to use your dog. Wonderful. You ship it out. Then they want to do another shipment 2 days later, and somebody else comes in and wants to use him. You may be in a situation where he gets used 3 times in 3 days. That is not a good situation. For us, when that happens, we start talking to that middle person who came in late. If they hadn't booked a breeding, we start saying, well, look, I've got another dog, you know, hopefully of better or equal value, and we'll give you that dog for the same price, or you can go to another dog, or maybe you don't use. There we go.
Oh,
he came back. Oh, I had a phone call. That was strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep.
yeah. So
Right, what's this one here? Read that one. Or is it not relevant? We breed Bordeaux's. There aren't many quality males here in the US. We've invested in a freezer. Our first. Okay. Have you any experience with a freezer? I think what you're talking about is liquid nitrogen and a liquid nitrogen storage. So
wanted to know if it was because why they had a singleton pup.
Well, I mean, okay, so we'll talk about that here in a second. I do know a little bit about freezing semen. So if you freeze semen, you have to use liquid nitrogen. You have to have a storage tank. You can store it for years. The shipping becomes an absolute nightmare because you have to use what's called a vapor tank. The person who receives the semen from you has to do a surgical insemination. There's all kinds of reasons why you would not want to do frozen semen. There are reasons that you would want to do frozen semen, and they are really 2 things. You want to archive semen for a dog that's not going to be around in the future, and you want to, a special dog, and you want to keep his semen so that it can be used after he's gone or not able to produce. That'll be the first one. The second one is you want to ship to places like Australia, where that's really the only way they'll accept it is frozen semen. So those are the 2 something. If you're shipping to Europe, you can use our Shipmate product and get it there on chilled semen. Chilled semen is so much easier to handle. It's so much easier to collect. It's a lot less expensive to ship. And it's much easier with a much longer window when it arrives at your customer. Once you've unfroze frozen semen, you've got just a few hours to get it in the dog. There's no mucking around with this. So I'm not sure what you now. You have to explain what you mean by frozen, but if that's what you're talking about, if not, it's chilled semen, and that's what all of us are pretty much doing is chilled semen. That's pretty straightforward stuff. We have a product called Shipmate. It makes life so much better, more reliable. It's reusable. And got any questions on that, give us a call.
Cynthia Gale said she just joined, said, hope you had a great week. We have had a great week. Give us a thumbs up. Cynthia Gale also says, can IDEX machines be sold to just vets or can an individual buy one from the IDEX company?
So I think the first thing is there's a number of different IDEX machines that are out there. They are horrendously expensive. I think the ones that there's the Catalyst system that I think is quite a bit less than the kind of fully blown IDEX machine. I think these days when they buy an IDEX machine, they're buying a whole suite of things that the machine will do. They'll do other kinds of blood work, and it's going to be a $30,000 machine. So I think that that's beyond the scope of pretty much most breeders, and you don't need it. I can tell you that the Fine Care machine does a great job. You can get one of those for around $2,800, a bit less than that. And there's other machines out there that are less expensive and some that are more expensive. And if you expect you can buy a machine for $1,000 new to do this, you are delusional. You will not get good results from something that's that inexpensive. If you're going to use something like the wand thing, the Draminsky's wand, complete waste of time. But I would say it makes the IDEX had to be calibrated. I don't think the IDEX is in your future at all. I think that things like the one for Fine Care, the kind of products I'd be thinking about, which, by the way, has been taken over by P4 now.
Yeah. Natural Line also said sold to independent people or users, not only to vets.
Okay.
So he was answering
so
that.
You can buy one. You might tell us how much it is. Natural Line might tell us how expensive it is. See whether what I said was correct or whether it's full of crap.
Okay, so the puppies that have the little runny nose,
yes,
says 2 weeks old. Hard to tell if the noses I hear when listening to their lungs. Is it the lungs or the wet nose cracking?
I think if you can hear,
if you can hear cracking in those,
I'd get some antibiotics.
When you're listening with the stethoscope, you need to get them started on antibiotics, and that's from the vet.
If you get some crackling going on with the nose here, you'd hear that without a stethoscope. If it's their lungs, you wouldn't hear that without a stethoscope. So that would be the difference. So the stethoscope is going to be pushed, on the side of their chest or on their chest when they're breathing, and that you would not hear. If it's because it's snotty nose, that you would hear without a stethoscope. But that may still be the signs of something that's ominous. So
yeah. Shelley Rockers says that she's got a little female that looks like an Ewok too.
There you go. Okay, good.
And that's just the look, not the breed.
Yeah.
You can read that next one.
This one here. Sonny Jones picked up a lilac merle male with tan points for my younger son. Brother of oldest son, blue with tan points, fluffy. Both are smaller in size and they're very active. Very happy with them both. Well, good for you. Great. Good deal. Tuscan House of Frenchies says, Gold member is looking better every day. Okay, such a sweet girl. And Autumn is such a sweet girl. We are looking to add koi to our program when our female is ready, which should be soon. So what we're talking about here
Autumn is a sweet girl, past puppy that we sold to those customers there.
Including Gold member. Yes, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Society Bullies is with us. Well, good. Good to have you here, Society Bullies.
Yes. Thumbs up, everybody.
In India, Natural Line says, in India, that depends. Are they born natural C-section? Sounds like a hypothermia to be bad. He erased his question. Okay. Well, I didn't see the question.
I didn't see that question.
Right. Maybe you'll come across again.
Yeah. Layers and colors.
One faux daily numbers 5.7, 7.2, 9.3, 12.7. No test 15.7, 20.6. No test and bred 18.2, 31.9. Did I jump the gun? Would you say that she definitely ovulated? I can tell you that. So what you're typically going to see on most dogs with a one faux machine is you're going to see this gets to something around a 7 or an 8, and then the next day it's gone up dramatically more. Let's look at your numbers here and see if that's what happened to you. So we got here, so we got a 5.7, a 7.2, 9.3, 12.7, 15.7. Well, 15.7, then 20.6. So if it was me, I'd done my first breeding at 20.6 on that dog, and then I'd have bred again 2 days later and make sure my numbers were in the high 20s or low 30s, which is what you got on day 18. So I think you did fine on this. I think that your right day to breed this was on a 20.6, and then a day or two later with a number around a 30 should be great.
What is
morphology? That's probably the person who was talking about the droplets on the sperm.
Oh, okay.
They're probably talking about sperm morphology. So so if you look at semen and you've got things like, typically you talk about double heads or split tails. Those are the things that you talk about morphology. If you see a lot of that in a sample, that's worrisome. But I mean, I hardly ever see it, so I don't have a lot of experience with this. But typically what you want to see when you look under a microscope is a 200 million total sperm in a sample or more. with 90% of it swimming in one direction successfully and not spinning around in circles, and doesn't have double heads or split tails.
Society Bully said, I thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for all the help. P-Rack works over here.
Oh, okay, well, good. So we're talking
So-
about the puppy poop tray.
Yeah, the poop tray.
Yeah, good. Well, great. I've got lots of people
Puppy
using
pee
it
and
now,
poop tray.
and I haven't had anybody who said this is crap. Everybody's reporting back that their dogs start
Mhm.
using it right away.
Yeah.
It's really working well for
Yeah.
people. I'm really glad about that.
Okay.
We've got a new product we're developing because of Billy, by the way. We have now got a little kind of puppy gym. So I'll post some information on that in the next few days. I've been working on that for the last month, but Billy's been my little trial puppy for the puppy gym, and he likes it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Rachel
Rachel says,
my hand's tired.
Anola the Frenchie, if you're doing a raffle for a puppy and living being and someone who can't normally afford one gets it, what happens when they can't afford to care of the dog? Well, that's exactly right. So that's exactly right. So I think that this is one of the things, look, people are looking for Frenchies. If they're wanting, a really inexpensive Frenchie, we're not the people to go to. And typically, if they can't afford our Frenchies, then I've got to be careful I say this because it sounds to be snobby and rude, and I don't mean it to be that. But there are inherent costs with owning a dog, and you've got to budget it. What does it cost? Realistically, what does it cost, do you think, Tammy?
Especially if you're wanting to breed.
Yes. Well, regardless of that, if you've got any dog, besides what it costs you to buy the dog.
Well, any dog's going to cost you money
How much
because the
it cost
health
you?
care.
So how much it going to cost
So
you?
you got food, you've got vet bills, you've got, you want to keep them clean, and you got their toys, and you got their food, and
So I'm going to give you a number.
okay, go ahead.
And just to feed a Frenchie for a year, $1,000, $3 a day, $1,000 just to feed that dog, and that's before
you're just doing kibble.
That's before you've got any pee pads, any toys, any vet visits, any vaccination, or anything else. So $1,000 a year is the minimum, and I think probably realistically, if the dog's a healthy dog, it's probably more like $2,000 a year. So if you have a dog for 5 years and it's $2,000 a year, that's a $10,000 commitment. It's not a small amount, and the dog's likely to live longer than that. So you're right, Rachel, when you say if they can't afford the dog, then they probably should be getting a different breed because they're already going to get themselves upside down because there's inherent costs that everybody should be prepared for when you own a dog. And all the time commitment and everything else that goes along with it too, right? Tuscan House of Frenchies, we bought 2 shipmates and they are the best way to go. Thank you very much. We appreciate
thanks.
that. Yep.
Thanks.
Extraordinary Beautiful Frenchies says hit the like button.
Yeah, do the thumbs up.
Rhonda Lee got a heated whelping system and I'm excited to use it next month. You'll love it. Boss Money Worldwide says hello, Tammy and James. Good to see you.
Thumbs up.
Camry Durant says, I love my pups. James and Tammy have changed my whole program from the supplies to make breeding easier on me and mamas with the advice they provide, and now have 2 litters from their studs. Well, Camry, we appreciate you too. You're one of our special customers. We really like you.
One of them.
Hey, there's a good, interesting
We've got
one.
several.
Boss Money Worldwide. What pet insurance do you use on your dogs? Do you have any recommendations?
For the 23, well, it's coming up 24 years that we've been doing.
Never had insurance.
Never had insurance.
Never felt like it.
Not even with the Labradors.
Never felt like it had been any value to us either.
No.
Now, when you go register a litter on the AKC, they give you.
Oh yeah. They want to sell you
a month or 2 of free insurance on your dog. If you register that, you can go get free insurance for the first year. The problem with this is, here's my general opinion about this, is you insure yourself for catastrophic situations that you cannot afford if they happen, like your house burning down, right? If the house burns down, most of us got mortgages on the houses, and the bank's not going to let you have a house where that can happen, and their investment, because basically if you've got a mortgage, it's their house where it can burn down. If your dog gets run over, if you can afford to survive that situation, then you don't need insurance. So for us, we've never had insurance on any of our dogs, and it's been fine. Leanna Bandy, have you ever lost a female during C-section? It's devastating. Yes, we have. We had a Chihuahua that was really fully pregnant, a little tiny Chihuahua. She had to have a C-section to survive it. It was sucked. That was one that was.
And then we had a French Bulldog, which was the reason for it was when she went in to be weighed, the correct weight wasn't given or heard, so they gave her more anesthetic than what she needed,
Yeah.
and so she
Stopped the heart.
passed, and some of the puppies
Yep.
passed.
So it has
That
happened
was
and it sucks.
awful.
It's pretty rare though.
That
So
was a big
yeah.
mistake. It was a
so
human mistake.
I hear people thinking I'm not going to have a C-section because it's risky, but it's a lot riskier than not having a C-section. It's
Oh, yeah.
pretty reliable. If you go to a vet who's done a lot of C-section, the chances of you having a problem are pretty remote.
But that's, you need to be there. You need to know the weight of the dog and repeat that weight of the dog when you're going to have a C-section, so that mistake can be not made.
Leanne Mandy says, yes, vet should check the end of each horn to make sure that everything's out correct. Nadia Line says, my first C-section, they didn't take the horns out, only 3. Then my last said she had 9. And yeah, they took the horns out. Right. Oh, here we go. Wicked Good Bulldogs. I had a vet leave a puppy in my girl. I even brought her back to the vet the same day after they sent me home, insisting something was wrong. They refused to x-ray and send me back home. That sounds like a lawsuit to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lawsuit to me is what that sounds like. That sounds like there's a bunch of idiots. I mean, I just hate to hear that. And we've never sued anybody. Never been sued, never sued anybody. Don't even want to go down that road. But I tell you what, there are times when somebody needs to make things right when that kind of issue. I mean, I don't know what the outcome was for you. Maybe you didn't get damaged. Maybe it was okay. Maybe, but I mean,
things can go badly wrong.
Not good, not good.
Yeah.
And then how would you handle that situation? I'll tell you how I'd handle it.
If you'd ask why, and I'd want to see their little plaques on their wall to see where they graduated from.
Well, so if we had a situation like that where we thought something was gross negligence, then I think the first thing to do is to confront the vet in a civil manner to say, look, this is what happened. Can you explain why this happened? And then if you get lousy answers and you think that you want to get something out of them, then I would say, well, I want to pursue this. And do you have insurance? I need to find out about your insurance company. And if they don't want to give you that, then I'd say, well, look, the next step that I take is I start telling everybody about how I was treated. So, but do this in a civil manner. Don't start threatening until the road apparently has bars across it where they're not going to talk to you about what went wrong.
Right. Because you'll probably find out there's more other people that's had the same thing happen to them as well.
Extra beautiful trenches in Florida, they do C-sections in their vans. Some vets are set up as a vet in wheel C-section, back to back. People outside waiting like it's a food truck. The practice is questionable. It's common. We had
we used to have no, that's not his name though.
No, that's what we used to call him because he was a good-looking boy.
Yeah, and
when
he first started out, he was trying to find a place to figure out where he was going to put his business, and he had a trailer that was a very nice trailer on the inside, and he did C-sections in that as well.
Yeah, it was great because he come right to us. It was great because he was on the spot. I always questioned a little bit. I didn't kind of like the setup. It's like a static in where they've got X-ray machines and all the other equipment that was there. We never had a problem with it, and we used him a lot. He's a really good guy.
But now he has his own big, nice business.
Yeah, territorial medicine, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want anybody to take that as being that he was substandard, because he's not. He's
he's excellent. Yeah.
He was starting out, and that's the way he got rolling with it. Literally got rolling with it. I mean, it worked out fine for us, but it was a little, I would prefer to go to a place where it's static, where you got all the machinery there. But again, he was a good guy, and he did a good job for us.
That was years ago.
So Wicked Good Bullet says, yeah, finally after 3 days I went back, insisted on the x-ray, and sure enough there was a deceased puppy in the canal that the vet missed during C-section. Yeah, you didn't tell us what the outcome was in terms of, I know you had a dead puppy, but you didn't tell us whether or not you pulled that guy over the coals. Heck Tick 007 just got my incubator and puppy care kit, and I got here quick. Good, glad to hear that. So you had some questions about timing this, and I sent you some information, and you haven't responded to me on that last part about progesterone levels on particular days. So if you want some help on timing this, absolutely give me a call, because this is important stuff. I want to help you. Will you try to breed for a koi and pink litter again?
Oh yeah, you bet.
I want to get what Cody had. I want to see what the outcome is for Cody, but I think it's going to
Yeah.
be very good.
Yeah,
Yep.
those babies were just beautiful and short, like I said before,
Sarah says
little
the
potatoes.
sound went. Yours is swiveled around.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay. Elliot Frenchy Farm made it. We're almost done. We're past 9 o'clock. We're already over here for an hour, Elliot.
I beat
Elliot's
you.
Frenchy Farm.
I was here before you.
Does Husky Koi work like Merles, where only one dog needs a DNA to get that half litter of Husky? Basically, yes. But there's more to it than that. So there's a number of things that have to happen together. So you're not typically going to get half the litter's got it. But you don't have to have 2 copies. You can take a non-Koi and get Kois out of it, just like Merles. So specifically, you would not breed a Merle to a Koi. That you would not do.
No, because it's
double Merle.
known as a Merle. Yeah.
Quality Frenchies, can I reach out sometime to learn how to price our future puppies? Yes, you can.
You can also check around on other sites, on other groups, on what they're pricing their dogs at. And
Extraordinary Beautiful says, your son's Koi Pinks are the most beautiful puppies I've seen, aside from your Merle
their
opera
structure.
singer litter.
Their structure is beautiful.
That had your little girl. Oh, yeah, well, that's true too. But
Oh,
yes.
She's doing so good. They send me videos. They send me pictures. She's just beautiful. And we're talking about little Pixie. Miss her so bad, but she's got the best home. We're so happy with that.
Chris C wants to be like you two when I grow up. What, you mean old and decrepit?
You hadn't seen us get up off the couch yet.
Really? Yes, we've got wheelchairs. And Tammy's got one of those little electric carts she wheels around the house in.
And they have those claw things that picks up stuff off the floor. I'm going to get James one of those.
A thing to open up jars.
Because he's dropping stuff all the time.
And Tammy's got Depends on right now. That's the only way she can be here for an hour without having to leave.
James drops stuff all the time and leaves it on the floor because he doesn't want to bend over and pick it up. So I'm going to get him a claw thing for his birthday. Jesus.
No, you don't want to be like us.
No. We were talking about going back in age. I would love to be 40 again, so that's great. I'm fixing to have a birthday here at the end of this month, and I just can't believe.
I've got a birthday coming up a month after. I'm not even going to say how old I'm going to be.
Nobody cares about your birthday.
I don't even care. I just assumed it wasn't even registered. I'm not excited about birthdays anymore. How about you?
Not now, since I'm getting that close.
No.
Yeah.
But look, my advice to you would be, Chris, would be this: is learn one and teach one. I think the good thing to do here is learn about things and then help other people. So learn one, teach one.
Well, that's
learn how to do one, teach one is the right way to do this. Push
that's
it forward.
What started all your videos
Yes.
from a long time ago.
Yes.
To help other people. And that's what we should be doing here, is helping other people. And there's not a thing wrong with it. There's some people that are just awful about helping other people.
So Quality Frenchies said, I brought their stud Mando's son. So he got a stud from Cody, a full stud dog from Cody.
Oh,
great.
from Mando.
He said it's beautiful.
Mando's
good deal. Right.
Gorgeous. And Annette Woods started up Money Bags. She produced Money Bags. And
it was where
I remember when I saw a little Mando, I said, I know where that dog came from, Cody. You need to pick up that boy for sure.
Yeah, I think he's probably been Gobstop is a very successful dog for Denali was a very successful dog for us, and Mando I really
he's beautiful.
I love Mando. I love the puppies.
When I watched him grow up, he was
he's a really nice little dog.
Awesome. Yep. He's just a square little dog.
Ariel is getting Billy next month. She's so excited. We're excited to see you. We're excited to see what you think of Billy, because I think you're going to be. I think you'll.
He's a pill. He's a pillberry.
Forget me not Frenchies. That's cool, man. I have a girl who loves sticking her head in water playing and jumping around. She often throws up with white foam. What's your thoughts about white foam?
She's probably drinking a lot of water and just throwing it up. We've got Billy that's playing in the water bowl, and I'm like, because he makes a big mess. I think he thinks he's a water dog.
But he's not throwing up foam.
No,
he's not. Before Ariel goes into panic here.
Yeah, no, he's not throwing up foam. She's probably just drinking so much of it.
I think the first thing is you do have to be careful about Frenchies and water, because they have flat faces and they absolutely could aspirate water and get into trouble. So, for instance, we have a swimming pool. We do let our Frenchies in the swimming pool. Some of them really like the water.
In the summer.
In the summer, at the shallow end with us there. Never, ever they're never around the pool without us being there to make sure that if somebody jumps in, we can go rescue, because it has happened before, right? But I think that generally you're going to be okay with this. I think that, the white foam presumably is just some of the stomach acid and everything else is getting belched up. So apparently she's okay with it.
Yeah.
Ariel says, what's your Instagram?
Love My Pups Official is our Instagram page. Love My Pups Official.
Right, we're going to have to run through this pretty quick here.
Okay, Cody's website for his puppies is on Instagram, and it is My Frenchies of Texas. His phone number to call him about his puppies, the koi puppies, the Husky koi puppies, is 806-664-0173. His Instagram page is My Frenchies of Texas.
Cynthia Gale has got a 2.5-week-old puppy with a swollen anus. Took it to 2 different vets. One didn't do anything. The other one said, use KY jelly and sugar to shrink it up. Nothing's helping. What should I do? The dog's got some kind of parasite infection. That's why it's got a swollen anus. It's got, it could be that it's constipated and straining like crazy and rubbing its butt on the ground. It could be that it's got worms.
How old is it?
2.5 weeks old.
Ooh,
so if you haven't wormed it, you should be worming that puppy.
Yeah.
Absolutely for certain. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with KY jelly. That's fine. The sugar I've never heard of, but if it works, great.
Her vet told her that.
Yeah. I think the dogs would be licking it if you put sugar
Good
on
lands.
it. But it's probably not a disaster, and it's probably going to get better. But I would investigate what is, as opposed to trying to cure the swollen butt, I would try to decide why it's got a swollen butt. It's either rubbing its bum on the ground, or it's got something that's causing it to strain, like possibly that it can't poop properly, or parasites. So, okay.
Hopefully you've wormed this puppy at 2 weeks, 4 weeks old with Nemax 2. It's a puppy wormer, very safe. And then after that, you do Safeguard at 6 weeks, and only at 6 weeks you start it. 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, as long as the puppy's with you.
Right.
Safeguard every 2
Ink
weeks.
glass, so I shouldn't hear any noises when I listen with a stethoscope to the lungs. Absolutely. Well, you should hear air. You should hear that. You should hear the heartbeat, dub, 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 dub. You should not hear any crackling.
The crackling, like.
Yep, shouldn't hear that.
Have you ever had that rock candy that sparked off in your mouth?
There you go.
That's the way it crackles like that.
And you shouldn't get any discharge. Dogs should not have a discharge from their noses. If they do, they may just have a cold.
Sometimes
but it
they're
could be
playing and they got a little wet nose.
Yep. Yes. But generally, if you start to see mucus, slime coming out of their noses, or you can hear things, that is not a good thing. And if in doubt, probably it's time for antibiotics, which is going to take a vet visit anyway. You're not going to get antibiotics over the counter. You're going to have to go to the vet. So that means a vet visit with an examination from a qualified person. And
really just one puppy would be good enough in case your vet wants to charge you for 5 puppies coming to see him. One puppy, because if that puppy's got it, the rest of them will get it. So,
Ernest Patron, my dog just died from after surgery, open pyro. I was told by a fellow breeder that there was medicine. Yes, there is. So open pyometria typically occurs within probably 5 days to 2 weeks after insemination.
Did he say she died?
Yes, she died. Yes. So typically what you do for this, you give antibiotics, amoxicillin, and if it's under control, you can have a normal litter and the whole thing can go away. If you don't treat it, they can get badly infected and the dog can die.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the answer is antibiotics.
Don't ignore it when you've got it. Just immediately start taking care of it.
So Ink says, just extra worried first time with a Frenchie. It's a little stressful. Absolutely. We fully understand. I mean, it's like anytime you've got a puppy, anytime you've had the first time you're worried that things are going to go wrong, because they can. And the important thing is to get on top of it, pay attention to what's going on, start listening to people like us and other people, and learn about what the possible things could be so that things go right.
We all have to learn somewhere.
The biggest thing that you can do is step in and take care of a problem before it becomes a significant problem, right?
Don't wait it out, because it's not going to get better.
Right. And if you're in doubt, go to the vet. If you're not sure and it doesn't make sense, Google it, look at videos, look at our stuff. If that doesn't help you, go to the vet. That is the thing to do if you're not sure. And I mean, the thing about this is that, you'll get to the point where you recognize these things. You don't have to go to the vet, but you've got to get there first. So if you're in doubt, go to the vet. So Wicked Bull is talking about what happened. To their credit, the new vet sat down and explained how the vet before must have missed it. He was very sorry. My girl had a C-section, did fine. They refunded me for both C-sections. Okay, so good.
Okay, he
So
did
that's
the
great.
right thing.
So everybody did the right thing. Everybody can, live in the same room. Nobody's got to spit on everybody when they walk down the street. That's a much better outcome.
Yeah.
Anytime, and I wanted to talk about contracts, we're not going to do that. But the important thing here on all of these things is try to get this worked out. The moment that people start threatening for a lawyer, all communication is gone. And almost always it does not end as
And
well.
it's going to cost people on both ends.
That's right.
Nobody wins in this
That's
situation.
Right. It's not a good situation when you've got to get lawyers. Much better that you can try, even if you had to eat a little crow, much better that you can solve problems by courteous conversations with people to get people to behave the right way and to get you to behave the right way. Right. Cynthia, when you female has her first litter and you do PG tests, should the numbers and time be close to the first time she was bred? Probably, but not always. So dogs typically are like clockwork. They tend to come in at the same frequency with similar kind of outcomes. First time heats are very, very scattery. Mm-hmm. So first time heats, maybe even second time heats, can be very fluctuating. Mm-hmm. But after that, it tends to stabilize. And then if you keep a record, which you should, you can look at the record because you won't remember it because it's been 6 months ago or a year ago. Look at that record, see what happened last time, and get an idea.
Just mark on your calendar. I like the calendars that got the little squares in it so I can write in the box.
Google Calendar.
Yeah.
You can write in that when the first signs of blood, how much blood you saw, what the color was, what the PG level was. Then, when you did the AI, when she had the C-section, because you can then look backwards and see whether it was 61 days to see what the numbers were was the right time to breed her for next time. So, yes. Cynthia says, my female took 28 days before first breeding after first blood. Yes, so there you go. Mm-hmm. So this is this delayed, prolonged heat cycle. And it's very, very common in dogs that get bred that are close to a year old or a year and a quarter old. It's not uncommon at all. This is why typically 8-month-old dogs, which we don't ever breed, that's why those dogs have a very hard time getting bred because they're really scattered on their progesterone timing. Rosetta says, Tammy, you look great. Keep it up.
Thank you. You're my new friend. Are y'all giving us thumbs up? Yes.
So Extraordinary Beautiful Bliss says you are both a roast. Okay.
A roast.
I think that's a good thing. I'm not sure. Happy early birthday for you.
Oh, thank you. 31st is my birthday.
Well, we just got a few more questions. We're going to get all these done. How are we doing on people staying up?
We still got
all the people. Yeah.
Well,
but we could do with some more thumbs up. But we're going to finish this up in the next 5 minutes. We have 2 amazing studs that are Mando's sons and 1 gorgeous girl, 3 of his babies from the same litter. We're looking forward to Mando grandbabies early next month. Excellent. It's a great line. Keep that line. It's a really good line.
Mando's wonderful.
How often do you get females not taken when you AI, even when the progesterone is right on point? It happens. Absolutely happens. Especially in
first times.
Yeah, especially in younger dogs.
First time
so
females.
There's all kinds of things that can go wrong on breeding, right? You can get the timing wrong. You can get the semen's not very good quality. You can get poor technique. You could not have done a progesterone test when you think you're finished.
And you could not have held her upside down for
technique, right?
45 minutes.
Yes, so absolutely.
30 to 45.
I would guess that
you weren't paying attention that when you did let her down that she lost any of the sperm out of her.
I would guess that 20% of dogs don't get pregnant.
And as soon as you AI them and you did the not standing her completely upside down, but at an angle, put her in a little small crate, cover it up, let her go to sleep for about an hour.
Yes.
And then go let her out. But also let her go to the bathroom before you ever AI. Make sure she empties her bladder real good.
Yes. Blazing Colors, you're amazing. We appreciate you. Forget-me-nots from Australia. You guys are awesome, especially since they're doing this at, what is it? Time is it there? I guess it's probably 8 or 9 in the morning. Maybe it's not so terrible.
From Australia?
Yeah. Cammy Durant, would you prefer a sable stud or a lilac stud? I would like a lilac stud over a sable because it's ATA versus ATAY.
But at least it's got 10 points.
Yep.
So,
Yep, but I'd prefer a lilac stud.
But your eye pill, again.
Yeah, I would say if you had 2 studs, one was a sable and one was a lilac, they're both, lilac.
I would look at the structure. Who has the better structure?
There you go. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly right, Sammy. Yes. Yep. Cynthia Gale says thank you. Rosetta Sanchez says thank you. Redline Frenches. TCI is like a surgical without the surgery. Definitely better than an AI. So yeah, so I don't like surgicals because it does involve cutting a dog open and putting a dog under. TCI does not require any of that. Yes, TCIs are great. So I think the question for me would be, which would you prefer, 2 vaginals 2 days apart or a single TCI? And for me personally, I'd like 2 vaginals 2 days apart than a single TCI. Even better would be a vaginal followed up by TCI a day or 2 days later would be even better. But TCIs with a skilled person are great, no doubt about it. Ariel says, I always felt that if you had to do a contract, they might not be the right person for your puppy. I also think that contracts can be helpful as well. I always say go with it. Well, look, we were going to talk about contracts. We'll do that next time. But there are some really good reasons to have contracts. I'm obviously not going to spend this time now, but I'm going to give you some good examples. When do you need a contract? Only one time, when things go wrong. It's the only time the contract's ever looked at. If things go right, nobody's looking at the contract. Nobody gives a damn about the contract. It's when things go wrong, it says what you will do and what you can expect in the event that something's not right. Mm-hmm. And those situations, it is very important to have already basically discussed that in the form of a contract, so everybody knows what is a reasonable expectation.
And our contract's on our website as well, isn't it? On
yes, and we've got PDFs for things like contracts and worming regimes. If you go to, maybe Sarah's there to tell us where this is. I think it's on Breeder 101, I think, breeder101.com. There are some PDFs there that you can get for free. It does require you give us your email and then you download them. And so there's, you can get contracts that are there with left blank, so you can put your own names in it. There's things like whelping calendars and all that kind of stuff. There's free PDFs. Take advantage of it. It just makes sense. But we'll talk about that next time. Okay.
Oh, it's 1:20.
Oh.
Yeah.
1:20 on a Monday.
Yeah.
PM.
Oh, wow.
Well, in the afternoon. Really? That's not okay.
That's forget-me-not Frenchies.
Yes, right. It's in
Australia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So 1:20 in the afternoon. Woo.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. That's it. 9:20.
7:20.
Yep. So those of you who are signing out, if you give us a thumbs up on the way out, we'd appreciate that. We really appreciate everybody listening to all of our ramblings and us being idiots and putting up with us.
Yes.
And again, Cody's got that litter. If you want to talk about that, Tabby's probably the person or Cody to talk to. Tammy, what's your phone number?
My phone number is 580-799-1910. And Cody's phone number, because he's going to know everything about those koi puppies. You can ask him questions about it, about the Husky koi puppies,
pricing.
The pricing. He can lead you through it. His phone number, and he also can do a FaceTime as well and take pictures. But normally we like to do a FaceTime with our customers before we get too involved on doing other things. His phone number is 806-664-0173. And his Instagram page is My Frenchies of Texas.
And if you buy one of his females, which he's got 4
yes, somebody asked me about that.
If you buy one of his females, you get lifetime half-price breeders.
They were wanting to know, since we offer that deal, does Cody? Of course he does, because we're a family-owned business or family-run business. So everything is like that. You buy a female from us, we do half-price breedings. Cody does the same thing. And when she has females, they get that half-price breeding as well. And that is forever, as long as you want to breed your females.
Well, as long as we're alive.
Well, yeah.
That could be only in a short.
Cody will be longer than
a few weeks.
Us. It's Cody. It's not just you.
Yes.
So.
And then again, if you've got questions on studs, if you've got questions about products, Cody can answer those questions, and I can too. My number is 580-799-2873. Like talking to people. If you're not buying any of our products, you can still call us.
And you can order it from mybreedersupply.com, just as easy. But if you got any questions about those products,
unless you want a poop tray, you have to go to Love My Pups.
Yeah,
the products Love My Pups.
Yep.
That's it.
Now the lift is through My Breeder Supply as well. Cody and James both have the lifts.
We're competing with each other.
Man, those lifts are fantastic.
Yeah, right. And I'll have stuff at the show too. If you come to the show, I'll have all this stuff you can get your hands on. Lifts and incubators.
Oh, are you going to take a lift?
Absolutely. Whelping kits, shipmate, all this stuff will be there. Poop trays, all going to be there at the show, so that people can get their hands on it and get a special at the show too. All right. So there we go. There's an hour and a half of your time wasted on a Sunday. We appreciate all of
Now,
you.
how are you going to do the specials there at the
I've got to
show?
work that out with Cody.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that's
Okay.
going to work yet, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to work with them. But we'll probably give a coupon code so they can order the stuff and get some kind of a discount if they order it right there at the show.
Mhm.
But again, that's going to be worked out, the details. What the discount is, I don't know. I'm going to discount my stuff, but Cody's got to decide what he wants to do on that. So we'll find out. Anyway,
Hey.
it's not the only reason to go to the show, right? The reason to go to the show is you're going to find all kinds of interesting stuff to look at, and you get to talk to us. That can't be
It'll
bad.
be our first time there, so it'll be all new to us
It
there.
may be our last time. They may tell us we can't come back.
They might.
Could happen.
Yeah.
You've thrown out better places than that. You
Mm.
have.
No, I
Have
haven't.
you never been thrown out of a place?
No. Okay, let's go.
I've been thrown out of a bar.
Let's go.
Been thrown out of
I want to watch
I've been
Landmine.
thrown out of a bowling alley.
Landman.
More,
James.
Okay, everybody. Everybody's dropping off in a hurry now.
No
Thanks for
kidding,
watching.
You're
Thanks for
boring.
watching. Thanks for watching. We'll tell you about all of our jail time. I'll tell you about who's been in jail and for what reasons, and it's not me.
Not me either.
No. Okay. Bye, everybody.